So these videos will have you questioning what's really out there. So remember, this is for entertainment purposes only. Let's check it out.
Good evening, America. Tonight, we address a story that has been clouded in secrecy. We've attempted multiple times to bring you details about an ongoing federal investigation involving a New York resident named Fitz. However, the Pentagon and the Department of Homeland Security have denied us permission to report in full. What we can confirm is that Fitz was present at the Bayside marketplace on January 1st, where he allegedly witnessed something classified. He captured footage of the event, and that footage, we are told, is of critical importance. As a result, he's missing, his whereabouts unknown, following weeks of surveillance in federal interest.
So he's missing? First of all, how is he the only one that has that footage? Y'all remember the Miami incident with all those police cars strung out outside and everything that we saw? And he's the only one with that footage that caught that? That's weird to me. But still in all, what happened to him? See, bro, this stuff is crazy, I'm telling y'all.
Okay, this is in the sky. It's not airplanes, y'all. There's no building over there. What in the actual fuck? I'm gonna be late for work, but
I ain't gonna lie to you. This is a good reason for you to be late to work. You know what I mean? Could be drones, of course. We got to keep that in mind. It could be, but yeah. I'd want to know what that was before I went to work too.
yeah, I had to get this on video. The hell is that? Freddy? I think they're finally here, babe. Okay, I gotta go by.
What's going on here? Oh, my.
Okay, I do not know what's going on right now. I heard a noise. I come outside. There's sirens blaring, and I see this huge trail in the sky.
Yes? But Captain, no police? Man. Everywhere, what's going on? And it's quiet, as if they're waiting for something.
It's midnight right now, and there's this huge trail like something crash landed. What the heck is that? What is this?
Expecting something, preparing for something. Look over here, let's walk over here. Come on, let's walk over here. Morning. Oh my God. You got all this? What's going on here? Let's go. Let's turn around and look at that again. Man, turn around and look at that. Let them see this. What's going on here? Oh.
Peace, family. I know y'all probably like, what is that? Listen, this is at a home. Not sure exactly where it is, but I had a video up before of a creature coming to someone's home in Texas. Now, where this home is, not really sure, but as you could tell, whatever this thing is huge, and not only huge, but you could really see it. Now, when I run the video, I'm gonna need you guys to look at the top and the bottom. Now, if this thing had on a costume or anything of that nature, boy, this man or woman that's up in this costume is skinny as hell, right? The body does not match a human body. Now, I'm gonna run the video, but just take a look at the face, the eyes, the legs, the arms, the body of this thing that's at the door of these people's home. Now, this is a real life home of somebody that lives there, right? Now they go into the doors of these people. Now, mind you, I'm so happy. Maybe I need to get me a ring door camera too, because these cameras is capturing every single thing. Now I'm finna run the video. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this. I'm telling you, I always come with them hitters. Like, follow, share, follow me for more, because I'm a steady bringer. Run the video. Pay attention, y'all. Look at the eyes. See how black the eyes is? You can't tell me that that's a human, bro. Look at that. Look at the body. Look at the legs, how they don't match.
Now, one thing I'm trying to do is I'm also looking at the movement, right? Mind you, of course, if you're watching this video right now, Halloween is right around the corner. So that's something I'm thinking in the back of my mind. But I've never seen somebody have that good of a Halloween decoration out that move like that. Able to track your Ring doorbell camera and look into it to kind of see what it could see. Then that poses the question, okay, if this thing is real, they know about Ring doorbell cameras now. Do they know about all cameras? Because they always have the ability to kind of scramble the camera. That way, when you take a picture, you can't really get a good, clear photo of them. So now are they studying Ring cameras now to do that too? Like, what's going on in this video clip? There's a lot going on here.
Pay attention, y'all. Look at the eyes. See how black the eyes is? You can't tell me that that's a human, bro. Look at that. Look at the body. Look at the legs, how they don't match. A human can't be that skinny, y'all. A human body cannot be that skinny. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this. This is somebody's home. This is somebody's home.
And broad daylight. Broad daylight, bro. Like, are they getting to the point where now they just don't care? And it's time. It's about to go down. It's about to happen. But you don't normally see this in broad daylight.
Y'all, that this thing has come up to. That's a camera. Look, they looking and trying to look in the door type. Y'all let me know in the comments what y'all think about this.
Camera picked this up around 8 p.m. last night. Very unsettling to see. Luckily, the dogs seemed to scare it off.
Come on now. You can clearly see that Joker got sneakers on. Y'all be doing too much, man. Come on, bro. We can clearly see you got shoes on.
everybody in the highway right now. I don't know, bro. Porque no hay un aparato. ¿Verdad? Ni idea. A mí no se mueve de ahí.
Now, when you got people stopping people on the highways, talking about, hey, man, look, you see that right there? And they got their cameras out. They have total disregard for traffic and everything. Now, there's something we need to look into. Even the caption of the video says it's one of the best UFO videos ever caught on camera. Like, yeah, something ain't right about this one, and they letting everybody know about it.
Pointing it right at him. And now he's turning.
Ooh,
yeah.
Flashed.
Yeah, you see him?
Yeah, it just flashed.
I'm lasering at him, and he's curving.
Back in January, I said this UFO alien incident at the Miami Mall was 100% real, and I still believe that. And now there's testimony coming out that the DOD is investigating this incident. But real quick, let's do a refresher of what happened. So on January 1st of this year, around 8:30, there was a disturbance at the Bayside Marketplace Mall. Now, this was the police presence that showed up for this disturbance. That was the first red flag. Second red flag was that witnesses said they saw a shadowy figure that looked like it came through a portal and was running around amidst all the chaos, and that the police had cornered this shadowy large figure. That was the second red flag. The third red flag for me is when I put in this location, the Bayside Marketplace location, and I took the coordinates of it and flip-flopped them, it took me to the center of Antarctica. Now, why is that suspicious as shit? Because if you know anything about Admiral Byrd and the journal that he left behind, he said that when he flew over Antarctica, he was taken down into a large hole and given a message from aliens to humanity. Now, this message in that story is a whole nother topic, because look at this.
Matter, and I've been asked to approach with extreme caution. The incident at the Bayside Marketplace in Miami on January 1st is currently classified, and I've been instructed to refrain from divulging certain details due to the ongoing nature of the investigation.
Now, the last part of that video, I think, was possibly AI, and that's the scary part of things right now. You don't know what is what these days. You don't know what to believe, but his mouth was moving kind of funny. And I watched a lot of that interview, and I don't remember him saying that. So that's one thing. But taking back to what she said and how that thing, we all know and have our suspicions about what's going on in Antarctica. We all have our suspicions, bro. So for her to flip the coordinates and it to take her there, I was already like, whoa, that's crazy. Out of all the places, it took you there. Yeah. Yeah, but the ending kind of threw me for a loop, because I think that video could potentially be, I'm not sure, but it could be AI.
The first alien sighting caught on tape. We are going to release this for the world to see. It's official. We are closing in on 1 year after the Bayside incident. In that year, we have been busy and working diligently to investigate this event. Contrary to what most people think, we've never actually seen a public release of an alien sighting on tape. We are in the process of retrieving the tapes, and on this channel, we will be releasing small clips once retrieved. Our team is planning to release the full tape in its entirety so that people can understand exactly what happened. The difficult part is that our team has endured difficult opposition in this year. We have lost friends and loved ones in the process. And though the internet is full of skeptics and disinformation, we do not care if people believe it or not. As a team and organization, we have been through so much in the last year, and this family has endured such hardship that we have a right to tell the world about our experience. And on top of that, we want to tell you the story about a guy named Fitz. Stay tuned, and please follow this page and
What did I just record?
Did you see that just shoot across? Did anyone else see that? Look behind you. Insane.
On October 2nd of 2024, during the Iranian missile barrage on Israel, a news camera captured what appeared to be a strange phenomenon flying through the sky. At first glance, it looks like a Death Eater from Harry Potter flying atop the war zone. Commenters had similar thoughts, with many joking that it was likely a Dementor, Batman, Spawn, or even a demon. Some users speculated why nothing but jokes were filling the comments section on an otherwise perplexing video. I mean, take a look. Not only are real people's lives in jeopardy during this whole ordeal, but we've captured an unidentifiable aerial phenomena on camera, and yet nothing of value has been able to explain it, aside from a couple of users claiming it's just a bug, which I am definitely not buying this time. People claim that these jokes were meant to bury meaningful discussion about the UAP, and if that were the case,
a bug that big at that speed. What you gonna say next? Maybe a bird? No.
it certainly succeeded, because there's still no explanation on what this UAP could be, or if people even care enough to look into it at this point. What do you think? Is this a UAP sprouting up in a time of war, or merely just a bug? And most importantly, is there a cover-up going on so that we simply ignore it?
But we're going to start with that NASA launch, which we're expecting in the next few minutes. Now, let's explain what it's all about. Trapped under its icy surface, this moon of Jupiter could be a vast ocean with double the amount of water on Earth, leading some scientists to believe it could be home to life. In a few minutes, a spacecraft is expected to blast off from Florida on the hunt for those signs of life on one of Jupiter's moons. It's named Europa. These are pictures live from Cape Canaveral. We're going to be speaking to the space engineer, Dr. Adam Baker, and also in the studio we've got our science correspondent, Palab Ghosh. Adam, first of all, to you.
I think it's interesting for those who are non-believers, but yet we're spending tons of money to go out into space to different planets to look for life. But you're still a non-believer. Okay, all right, it's cool.
Just explain how difficult is this mission?
Hello, good to be here. Well, it's one of the most difficult missions that NASA or any space agency has ever done. It's the largest interplanetary spacecraft NASA's ever launched. It's going to fly all the way to Jupiter, taking 5 years to get there. And then it's going to orbit it some 50 times in one of the worst radiation environments that any spacecraft's ever been designed to withstand.
Well, there we go. It's a pretty tall order. Palab Ghosh with me in the studio. What is it looking for? What's it going to do? It's going to be orbiting, isn't it? And looking for any potential signs of life.
Well, Ben, as you said, somehow this little world so far from the sun has got water. Not just water, but lots of it under its icy surface. And of course, where there's water, there may well be life. So that's the really exciting thing about this, because Europa, this tiny moon of Jupiter, may well be the most likely place in our solar system to be home to life. And we'll get some results in 5 years' time, but it's still on its way.
Yeah, 5 years' time, it sounds an awful long way into the future, and that's because it's so far away from us.
It's a 1.8 billion-mile journey, so it's going to take some time. It's taken the long route. It's got to do a few it's got to do a few slingshots to gain gravity from other planets, but it is going to get there in 2030, and it's going to take a really close-up look at the surface, take magnetic readings to find out about the oceans, and there are plumes that come out from the surface, and if it's lucky, it'll fly through one of these plumes and actually taste what these oceans are like.
But just to be clear, it's not going to land, it's just going to orbit it and try to work out as much information as it can from orbiting.
NASA's very clear, it's not going to land, it's not going to find life, but it's going to find out whether Europa has the potential to support life, which is a step closer to actually finding life in our solar system.
Adam Baker, back to you. I think we're 2 minutes away from launch. It's due at 6 minutes past the hour, so just over 2 minutes. Just talk to us a bit about the design of this spacecraft and how it has been designed for this very difficult and very long-term mission.
Yeah, so there's a couple of features that are really important, one of which is how it produces its power, because you obviously need electrical power to run the instruments and keep it warm out there in the freezing cold depths of interplanetary space. So it has enormous solar arrays. Most spacecraft are solar powered with a few exceptions. This one's not using nuclear power, perhaps unusually at that distance. And the solar arrays are enormous. So I think it's about the size of a complete tennis court in terms of the length, so about sort of nearly 35 meters long, and it needs it in order to be able to suck in enough sunlight to produce enough power to run the instruments. It's running a radar, for example, to look beneath the icy crust and try and assess the water, the oceans under Europa, and those are really power hungry, and no mission's ever used a radar this far from the sun, so there's a huge power challenge. The other side of the equation is actually it's orbiting in a really harsh radiation environment. Jupiter, like the Earth, traps energetic particles around it because of its strong magnetic field, and the spacecraft has to fly through these time and time again. In fact, it's not in orbit around Europa. It's taking multiple kind of close passes, but spending most of its time at a relatively safe distance from Jupiter. That said, it still needs to contain its sensitive electronics, the computers, the data recorders, in what they call a vault made of a thick layer of aluminium alloy, which makes the whole spacecraft much heavier, especially when you consider you have to throw it from Earth to the other side of the solar system. So power and weight are two of the real key challenges the designers have to face, and it ends up weighing about nearly 6 tons, which is a huge spacecraft to, again, throw to the other side of the solar system. That's why they need SpaceX's, second biggest rocket, not the biggest after the launch the other day, but second biggest rocket to get there.
Okay, Adam, thank you. We're just going to listen into the launch then from Florida. Let's look at the launch to travel to Europa to study the Jupiter moon.
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, ignition. And liftoff. Liftoff of Falcon Heavy with Europa Clipper, unveiling the mysteries of an enormous ocean lurking beneath the icy crust of Jupiter's moon, Europa.
Engine chamber pressures are nominal.
You see that the chamber pressures are nominal as we hear. All 27 Merlin engines look great.
Rocket beginning.
Go, go, go. Find life. Find us some life out there, bro. Hope it does. I know they don't think it will. They just looking for great conditions, but I wanted to discover life.
Roll. Putting down 5.1 million pounds of thrust. Coming up, they're going to back off those engines just a bit.
So we're getting ready to head into max
power
Q.
and telemetry nominal.
We hear that power and telemetry on the vehicle are good there. Everything's looking really
Falcon
well.
Heavy is supersonic.
They have reduced power in the center core to get through max Q, maximum dynamic pressure on the launch vehicle as we approach that. The 2 side boosters at full throttle.
A beautiful shot there as our camera team.
Well, all looking pretty smooth to my very untrained eye, and Malab Ghosh, our science correspondent who's with me watching those pictures. It's always mesmerizing, isn't it, watching any kind of launch, but this is a staggering mission, isn't it, in terms of its complexity?
It is. It's so far so good. I think we're waiting for the stage separation, which is a critical moment. Nothing is completely safe on a journey to space, but at least it's launched. Hopefully it's on its way, and we just have to wait 5 years to find out whether we're alone in the universe or not.
Yeah, although, will we find that out definitively?
No,
we'll just find out about the potential conditions.
Exactly. You're right to correct that. It's just so exciting.
You're getting carried away.
getting a little bit carried away.
But Europa is, 630 million kilometres from Earth. It's an awfully long way away. And I was talking to a scientist earlier who was saying we spent a lot of time concentrating on Mars in recent years. Does this amount to a sort of new departure, do you think, in some ways?
Well, it does, and there's a bit of a war going on between planetary scientists, those that are obsessed with Mars and those that have said, look, we've got all these water worlds in the outer reaches of the solar system, so why are we keeping going back to Mars and doing the same, in their view, similar experiments and doing lots of geology where there's very little water on Mars? So they seem to be gaining the upper hand with this mission. There's plans for another mission to Uranus, which also has water. We have already got a European mission to some of the other moons of Jupiter. So it seems like the outer solar system, the moons, may well be more likely to have life now rather than Mars, which maybe once had life.
And this Jupiter moon has, as you were saying earlier, an awful lot of water. I mean, way more water than we have on Earth.
Twice as much. And it seems strange. Why should something so far away that's got ice on its surface have water? Now, the reason is that Jupiter, it's the biggest planet in the solar system, and it has powerful gravity, and it stretches and squeezes the moon. And so it's that movement that means that it's got a layer of water in between, and its core might provide the heat and nutrients for life to exist. And that is what the Europa Clipper mission is going to try and find out with its 49 orbits.
Not going to try. It is going to find out, man. I don't know why I feel so strong about this mission. I could be wrong, but I'm hoping, bro. We need to find life, man. Could be our relatives out there, bro. Our little cousins and different ones out there, man. Brothers and sisters.
In 5 years' time.
Palab, thank you. Back to Dr. Adam Baker, space engineer who is watching that launch with us. Well, as we said, it was seemed to be a pretty smooth launch, Adam. But this is a really, really challenging space mission, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. That said, they've probably got the world's most experienced company doing the launch. This is SpaceX. You've done hundreds of Falcon 9 launches. This is, I think, the 11th Falcon 9 heavy launch. And as we saw the other day, they're trialing their new rocket, the Starship, which will be even bigger. So if anyone can pull off the delivery and get Europa Clipper there in one piece, it will certainly be SpaceX.
Do you think the odds are on it being successful and coming up with some of those answers that Palab was saying that they're really looking for?
I think it's pretty likely. If it gets through the early phases of the launch, which are probably the most risky, then actually it's a pretty quiet journey for the next 5 years, and they'll have most of the critical systems switched off. They'll turn it on from time to time to check it, and it'll come past Earth once or twice, and they'll get some signals from it then. I think that the next risky phase where things could go wrong is likely to be when it goes into Jupiter orbit. There's a Jupiter entry part where it's got to slow down enough to be captured by the giant planet's gravity, and then it'll go into this slow 49 orbit sort of dance, as Palab was talking about. So we'll have to calm ourselves down, find something else interesting to look at in space for the next 5 years and wait for that. So it's probably going to be pretty dull from now on.
I'm sure we'll find something to talk about and think about. Adam Baker, thank you so much, the space engineer, and also our science correspondent Palab Ghosh, talking us through that spectacular launch of the Europa Clipper heading up to that Jupiter moon, Europa.
Basically of the same theme, that there's a secret Pentagon program with secret evidence that the public and lawmakers know nothing about.
That's right, Elizabeth, and you alluded to it a little bit in the kind of the opening to the segment, but what I like to maybe take a more of an analytic approach, and if we zoom out, in the news cycle, we focus on the latest breaking developments and the whistleblower